What's up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today update 21 has released and the chains of Harrow have been broken, so get excited because we've got some amazing new weapons, we've got an awesome new Warframe, tons of changes to the UI, just some amazing great things that we're going to be taking a look at, so stay tuned. Alright, so there are a ton of things that got released with this update, so I am bound to miss a few. Now if you haven't checked out my previous video, I actually read you guys some of the patch notes, which are focused mainly on the weapon buffs that have kind of been added into game. They buffed throwing weapons, they buffed secondaries, and they buffed a couple primaries that needed just a little bit of love. So if you guys haven't listened to that, feel free to listen to it while you are playing. However, we have the new hotness right here, and it is Harrow, and I can tell you right now, holy shit, I've been playing him, I've been leveling him, and I'm like, damn, he is going to be fucking fun to play. The only thing that I do need to put out with Harrow is he is a little skill-based, so I feel kind of like some players might be like, oh, Harrow sucks. I'm like, if you don't know how to use him. He requires a little more finesse than most. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at that. Alright, so before we jump into stats, I did want to point out that his passive actually doubles his overshield capacity. So you can see at max with a redirection and, you know, stacking up all of his overshields, he sits at 3,510 shielding. Now, as you can see right here, now keep in mind, this is just a temporary build. I haven't formed him yet, but we will get to it soon. His max shields with a redirection is 1,110, and his max health is 740. Now, I know some of you, I don't know if anybody's really going to care about his armor, but you know, just in case somebody out there is a little bit curious to see, I might as well just go ahead and put that on real fast if I can QRS, if I can find it for you. So with a max steel fiber, E is 315, just in case you guys wanted to know that. Alright, so jumping straight into his abilities, I figured I would go ahead and keep this pretty simple because you guys have seen this a million gazillion times. So his first ability is Condemn, which basically holds enemies in place for a short period of time and restores a chunk of your shields. So this is great for scoring all of those fancy schmancy headshots that you're going to need to do with the Knell and with some of his abilities. Alright, so his second ability is Penance. This is where you whack yourself, and then you remove some of your shielding. Oh no, I forgot! I forgot to put the health mod back in, but as you can see right here, every time you strike your enemies, you can actually heal some of your health back. This also increases your reload speed, and it increases your fire rate. So it kind of is like, it's kind of like saying, hey, listen, we want you to kill things with this ability, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna increase all of your little boofs, and that should make up for it. Alright, his third ability is, I forgot what it's called, Thurible. How did I forget Thurible? Everybody loves Thurible. Now the cool thing about this one is it's a tap and release, so basically what you can do with this is you just tap it, and then when you feel like releasing it, you release it. And as you can see right there, you get, oh my god, you get energy per headshot and per kill, and as you can see, you can get a good chunk of it back real quick and refill your energy bar. One of the things that I did want to note, he's got a pretty stinking small energy bar, which kind of hurts my soul and makes me very, very sad. Alright, so for his ultimate, I'm gonna gather some people around here real quick. Turn on his ultimate, and basically, they whack you a bunch. It takes the damage that they prevented within that, and you can see the little timer runs out on your screen, and you get a bonus chance to crit on your headshots. Now, this is actually a really cool ability, because I don't think, it seems kind of like, oh, okay, you get temporary invincibility, but at the same time, you also get the bonus crit. Now, here's the thing about this. This chains so well with several of his other abilities. So if you think about it this way, let's go ahead and reset this real fast. This is where things get kind of juicy, and I'm like, oh, the synergies. Oh, yes, the synergies. So what you can actually do, let me go ahead and cast that real fast so I can get some duration. And then what I'm going to do, let's do that a little bit too. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit Penance. So now I've got Penance running, but of course, you know, oh no, I'm taking damage, I'm scared. But you go into your ultimate, so you go from Penance into your ultimate, And now, because of the fact that you are getting more crits, you're dealing more damage, you're healing. So now it's kind of like a really cool way to set up penance into pacts and go ahead and get yourself some invincibility time while you go and heal your allies. So it's nice because at the same time it's almost like you freeze your allies' health pool. I know allies is probably not the proper term for it, but you freeze your allies' health pool. And then you go give yourself a smack, and while you're vulnerable, you go into your ultimate, and then boom, now you're not vulnerable, and you can go help and heal your allies, and I think that is pretty stinking amazing. Now, another quick synergy, if you guys have not picked up on this either, is you can go from your Thurible, so as you can see, you just kind of like lead him around. You can turn off your Thurible. Usually, I feel like 10 energy is enough. And then you go into your 1, and then boom, you can pretty much get all of the energy back that you lost. There's so much synergy that occurs that it's kind of ridiculous, and that's kind of like why I'm saying that I'm a big fan of, why I'm such a big fan of Harrow right now, because the synergies are so strong and the abilities kind of work so well together that it's like, yes! Alright, so let's jump into the Scourge. This one is really, really exciting. As you guys know, this has a base corrosive damage and has the ability to be pumped into the 100% status chance zone. And I believe it does like AoE damage too, so you're like proccing AoE procs. Oh my god. So, base corrosive. Let's talk about that real fast. Base corrosive means that you can put viral on it. Base corrosive means that you can put radiation on it. So, you can have an insane Grineer killing machine. It's absolutely ridiculous. And for those of you guys who don't know, it's got a secondary effect that pairs super, super well with secondary weapons. So, let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay. Alright, so I actually pulled out 3 little billies for us to play around with. And as you can see, it is dealing AoE damage. And it's, actually not doing half bad when it comes to... Fuck you, jerkface. It's not doing too bad taking out multiple enemies at once, except for tanking that shit right in the face right there. It's making quick work of these enemies, but one of the things that I do want to point out is that while you are using viral and radiation, you can pare this down. It's still got a high enough status chance on its own just to use with let's do a little bit of this. Let's do a little bit of the penance. Huh? Please don't fuck me. Please don't fuck me. Yes! There you go, we're back in action. But yeah, so as you can see, it does really, really well on groups, but let's go ahead and show off its secondary ability. Alright, so the next ability we are pulling out the Thurible with. As you can see, I've kind of just gone with a low amount there for the Thurible, because I wanted to go ahead and prove a little bit of a point. So we're gonna lay down a couple of these, what is it called, the condemn things. We're gonna toss this down right there. So as you can see, it creates these little fields that give you the ability to headshot your enemies. So as you can see, everything is basically a headshot as long as you're near them. It creates kind of like this this bullet attractor field, and this means the Scourge pairs extremely well with the Knell. The Knell? Oh shit. Alright, now moving along to the Knell, this one is a tricky one. It's definitely a powerful weapon, however, it basically requires you to get headshots no matter what. Otherwise, it's a little bit unusual. Think of it like the dual Toxicist, but the way that they compare is like pretty freaking drastic. So let's take a look real quick. As you can see, I did put 1 Forma into this. That's the polarity that I tossed in. Otherwise, it comes with absolutely nothing. So you're starting from scratch. It's got a decent status chance, but really critical chance is where it's gonna shine. Its critical multiplier is a little bit saddening, but I do know that comes with kind of like a headshot multiplier, because this thing is basically a sniper pistol. I've got some room for that. Don't worry, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna make some things happen, but let me go ahead and show you its mechanic in the gameplay. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of that durable Thurible action real quick. And I'm kind of crossing my fingers that this is gonna work, because I don't know if the simulacrum is bugged or whatnot. Now as you can see, the critical damage is going up with every with every single headshot that I grab to a max of a 2.5 crit chance. Now, clearly, not 100% sure if that's gonna be like affected by mods. It should be. I wonder if it'll show up. We should probably test that in a hot second. But as you can see right here, as long as you get headshots, this thing's fire rate goes through the roof, and in addition to that, it also consumes no ammo whatsoever, which is completely necessary when you look at the fact that this thing has a maximum of 10 ammo. So that's where the intensity lies right there. So after 3 shots, you're doing a 2.5 crit multiplier, and we'll actually go ahead and jump back into the upgrade system, and I'll go ahead and put a damage crit mod and see if that affects it. It should definitely have an effect on it. Because that would make it an absolute beast. But as you can see right there, as long as you're scoring headshots, you can just fire this thing like willy-nilly. Like, look at how insane that is. As long as you're scoring headshots to keep the buff going. Alright, so as you can see, I've tossed in the prime target cracker, and we're sitting at a 3.2 times multiplier. I actually just tested this a second ago, and it's a little bit weird. I'm not sure if the UI is communicating exactly what it's meant to communicate. It probably is, and I'm probably just not reading it right. But as you know, it gets a bonus damage multiplier the more headshots that you dole out, right? So let's take a look right here. It still says it's doing 2.5 times damage. So I'm wondering if that 2.5 times damage is in reference to the damage that it multiplies on top of the already existing damage multiplier. That is definitely a question that I'm gonna pose. I'll do a little bit more testing, and I will get back to you in a proper snapshot video. You know, this is just like first looks right now, right? So as soon as you get some headshots, so get your head first, and then you can go ahead and go apeshit crazy. You know? Alright, so before we move out of the simulacrum, there are a couple other things that I definitely did want to... Alright, so before we move out of the simulacrum, there are definitely a couple things that I wanted to make sure that we touched on, because they have made some massive changes to the UI that are really, really beneficial to the things that we're seeing right now. So, if you don't notice it, there are a couple changes. There is actually a punch-through stat that now exists currently, and you can add that in, and it will tell you exactly how many meters it punches through. Now, as you can see, we are looking at the Maradetron, which in some ways got a boof, in some ways didn't quite get a boof, but we'll talk about that in a different video where we kind of crunch the numbers on that. But we also have fall off stats for all of our shotguns, so that's not something that they necessarily gave us before. But as you can see here, it begins to fall off at 16 meters, and its maximum fall off meter range is 30. Beyond 30, it doesn't fall off any lower than that. So that's a good thing. There's a lot more transparency that's going on. I'm glad to see it in game, and I hope that all of the other things that they have kind of spoken about get translated into game as well. It's just really nice to see. All right, so before we get out of the simulacrum, I wanted to go ahead and show you a little something else that they've got going on. So for those of you who don't know, I did tweet about this on the Twitters, but interestingly enough, one of the big things that they changed, and this is just a visual effect actually, and you'll see it right there, is we have orange crits now. So basically, what happens is when you red crit before, that meant that you basically got into the 100 plus crit territory. It's like a double crit, basically. But we've got weapons now, or we've got setups. Let's say we've got melee setups now that actually allow us to push into the 200% category. The 200% category, anything above that, actually goes into red crits. So when you go 100 plus, so let's say you've got a 150% chance to crit. That extra 50% chance will give you the chance to orange crit. If you are in the 200 plus chance, so let's say you've got 275 chance to crit. So basically, you go into red crit territory, and that's kind of like where it goes, and we see that a lot with melee weapons, but now we've got a kind of like, it kind of lets us know what level of crit we have. Yellow is into the, 100 territory, so from, 0 to 100, and then from 100 to 200, or just under 200, is the orange crit territory, and then 200 into 300 is the red crit territory. So I hope that makes sense. It goes from yellow to orange to red. Moving along, I have a quick PSA for you guys. If anybody missed the mods that were available during the Ambulance event that required you to pick up amino beacons, whatever it is, all of those mods are actually now available in their respective syndicates. So if you missed out, you just go ahead and use your standing and you can go ahead and pick those up today. Alright, so before we close this thing out, I did want to do a little bit of fashion frame real quick. So I'm actually showing you guys the Suffragan helmet. This one does not come default on Harrow, so let me go ahead and show you Harrow's default helmet. I definitely, ooh, the back looks nice. Okay, so the front, I'm not super digging on the standard Harrow helmet, but the back of that looks really nice. The back of this one looks really nice too. I like this one looks, I like that look from behind. It's a little more stunning, but this one from the front looks really good. So it depends on, like, you know, the way that you want to look at it. Then he's also got a new SANDR, which for the life of me, I cannot remember. So we're going to dig through everything that I normally do, which is the Knave SANDR right there. And it's basically a Jesus cross or a sword, depending on the way that you want to look at it. So that is available right there. It's not bad. The physics on it are okay. It's thin enough for me to say, alright, it's floppy, whatever, no big deal. At least they're not trying to make it look metal or weird or anything. It's fine. I'm giving you a pass, D. It's fine. Another thing that I did want to kind of let you guys in on too, they are now doing the Prime for Prime. I believe that has been released with this update. And all you have to do is link your Twitch Prime account to your Warframe account, and you will get yourself a Frost Prime as well as the Vestipa. It's down here at the bottom somewhere, the Vestipa SANDR. And as you can see, it's actually pretty, ooh, it actually looks really good with Harrow. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Again, for me, the physics, and I think the way that I stated this is somebody was saying, oh, well, how do you feel about the physics on it, yada, yada, yada. And then they asked me to compare it to the Replica SANDR, which is like this gorgeous beautifulness right here. I'd have to change the tinting a little bit, but you know, I'm like, well, you can't really compare the two because, you know, the Replica SANDR is kind of absolutely gorgeous, and we have a bunch of other gorgeous ones out there, but it's fine enough that I will not complain about the physics of it. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, and I feel like it'll go really well with people who have picked up the Targus armor set. So again, just go in. There's actually a link on the launcher, so you can just go ahead through the launcher, click on that link, and follow the directions to link your Twitch Prime account to your Warframe account, and then boom, you are done with that. Now, there is one last thing that I wanted to show you, and maybe we'll jump into a couple of these live depending, but we do have several new Captura scenes that are available. So we have the Grineer Forest, the Grineer Forest Factory, the Forest Industry, and the Forest Water Pump scene. So all of those are actually available on rare caches on Earth, so definitely take a look for them. And as you can see right here, we have Hun House Datascape scene. So that is actually from the Octavia quest. So after you complete the Octavia quest, this will unlock, and you should be able to pick it up from Cephalon Suda. Now, the other one, you probably don't see it here, so there's the Red Veil's Binding scene, but after you complete the Chains of Harrow quest, you should be able to unlock another scene that you should be able to pick up from the Red Veil. So definitely keep that in mind. I haven't gotten to get to that part of the quest myself. As you guys know, I'm working on videos for you guys. So do me a favor, no fucking spoilers, okay? I see you, I'm judging you. Don't fucking spoil it for me. Regardless, that is kind of like it for the Captura scene. There is one other thing that I wanted to touch on. Now, it was mentioned in the patch notes, and I'm going to give the team a little bit of a poke, but there were supposed to be 2 new Manticore sound packs that were coming out for Octavia. I scoured the market to see if I could find them. I scoured by name and all of that kind of stuff, and they weren't there, but there are 2 new packs for Octavia's Manticore, which I'm really excited about, but we'll cover that when those are available to us. Just, you know, for everybody out there who is like thinking, they're like, well, I wanted to pick up those packs, I couldn't find them either. Just know that I couldn't find them in the system, but if you're excited to compose, you're gonna have new tools very soon. Alright, so that about does it for this episode. As you can see, I have about a million things that I need to go ahead and tackle. Again, no spoilers, I'm just leaving this up at the end screen, but if you have finished all of your like MOT stuff, and your War Within stuff, this will be available to you. This looked kind of crazy. Alright, regardless, I'm gonna get my butt out of here as I have more things to forma, builds to give you guys, and all of that hullabaloo. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo Harrow. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!